First into the refuel and service point at the halfway mark was Bankman Toyota Land Cruiser of R.P. Reinicker and Robin Houghton. Reinicker's intimate knowledge of the Barberspan 500 conditions, be they wet or dry, was again turning out to be a telling factor. Not that it was plain sailing for Reinicker and Houghton.
We had a hell of a lot through that water, getting mist from the engine. There's a lot of water going through the air filter. Yeah. And but otherwise it's going well.
As Reinicker and Houghton set off from the service point, Cliff Barker and Martin Joubert in the SBM Land Rover arrived on the scene, closely followed by the Woolridge for Mark Nissan-Sani and Richard Carroll in the lubrication equipment raceco.
We got lost there for 20 minutes, man.
The service area was getting a little crowded when Bix Carolyn and Kenny Scholthammer arrived in a sick-sounding car that was headed for retirement. A drive in the park it was not.
We've been lost, all of us, even with navigators. We're getting lost. Anyway.
It was back to the fray for Barker and Joubert in the SBM Land Rover. They were just ahead of Richard Carolyn, with Craig Draper and Wade Perrins charging into the service area at the Castrol Raceco, after moving from 55th position to 5th. Preparing to tackle the last leg, Paul Pamark in the Nissan-Sani hot seat was in philosophical mood.
Hey, buddy, that thing was visor and keep things clean. But we car's well, so it should be up there just there.
The service area was a hive of activity, with cars in and out of the pits at regular intervals. For some, like veteran Linton Draper, the long-distance races get tougher and tougher.
This is really a test of man and machine. And I think maybe the machine's going to outlast this man today, that's for sure. But, yeah. I tell you, I thought we'd steady come to an off-road race, not a jet ski race. We found a pan down the bottom there. You just had to put foot, but it's been great, though.
Back on the route, the Reinicker Houghton Bankman Toyota Land Cruiser was running at the front of the field and leading the production vehicle category ahead of the Barker Joubert Land Rover. Young locals found plenty of ways to amuse themselves as they waited for the cars to appear on the scene, with crews given an enthusiastic reception. With brother Bix and Kenny Scholthammer and the Saltwell brothers among the retirements, Richard Carolyn in the lubrication equipment raceco had taken charge of the special vehicle category and was third on the road. Local pair Niels Lemmer and Henry Costain in the Toyota Hilux were in complete control in Class E in the production vehicle category and were given a tremendous reception by the young enthusiasts. Marius Berain and sister Margie won the Barberspan 500 last year in the raceco. With the little mighty mag hardly missing a beat, Berain was second in the special vehicle category and had taken over the lead in Class B from the Chepek father and son team. Well, not all the local inhabitants were impressed by what was going on in the race, but Hein Grabber and Charles Warmerens had cause for satisfaction. They were on their way to a top 10 finish for a win in Class G in production vehicle category in another Toyota Hilux. It was an impressive performance from the pair, but behind them there was plenty of drama unfolding in the motorcycle section. Because of the early mix-up of the route, the two-wheel field was still closely bunched with a real scramble going on up front. Darryl Curtis on the AGA Panasonic Pro-Action KTM led from Grant Bloomfield on the Lesotho Office Equipment Honda, right on his tail. Alfie Cox on the Castrol KTM was closing in for the kill, with Alan Julian on another Lesotho Office Equipment Honda, also well placed. There was a terrific battle going on between Alex Vowles on the Antilex Dairy KTM and Lance Trethaway on another of the LEO Hondas, with riders still having problems finding the right route. The impressive Vickers van Deventer had the quad racer category under control on the Jojo Tanks Yamaha, with Richard Manning out in front of the 200 motorcycle class on the dealer team Yamaha. At the front of the field, it was all over by the shouting for R.P. Reinicker and Robin Houghton in the Bankman Toyota Land Cruiser. At the final control, Reinicker knew another Barberspan 500 win was in the bag, and he was all smiles. With the SBM Land Rover's V8 engine still sounding crisp, Cliff Barker and Malcolm Joubert were running second in the production vehicle category, trailing Wayneker and Houghton by around 25 minutes. Barker and Joubert had opened up a 15-minute gap over the Nissan Sunny in the hands of Neil Woolridge and Paul Vermaak. Another Barberspan triumph for Alfie Wayneker and a tremendous result for Toyota runners with 6 of the top 8 placings in the production vehicle category.
Ons het een deel gehad wat ons deur 'n swamp moes gaan wat omtrent 5 kilometers oor die veld gestrek het. En die instruksie was na die of voor die swamp was dat jy met die merkers volg. En op die einde van die swamp was daar bloekombos geweest. En die diskant sien ons 2 of 3 verskillende bloekombos en dan weet ons nie watter een van die twee moet jy na ry nie. En dan sit jy met die probleem, jy kan nie net ry waar jy wil nie, want daar's almekaar hierdie swampe en jy weet nie wanneer val jy in een van daai goed en jy sit vas nie.
Like good wine, Richard Caroling gets better as the years go by. There were no frills attached to his victory in the special vehicle category in the lubrication equipment raceco, and he steadily ground the opposition into submission. A tremendous performance saw Marius Bahrain second overall and take Class B honours in the mighty mag. Third overall went to Nick Harper and Richard Hill after a steady drive in the Pro-M Rock Oil raceco. Richard Caroling's victory in the Barberspan 500 gave him his second special vehicle win of the season, and with it an early grip on the championship.
There's no enjoyment in it, it's just survival. It's just a matter of getting out there, keeping the car on the road and just driving carefully and just keeping it moving forward. As long as you do that, you stand a chance.
To no one's great surprise, Vickers van Deventer came cruising home on the Jojo Tanks Yamaha Banshee to take overall honours in the quad racer category. Van Deventer had over 20 minutes in hand over Yuri Duplessis, who put in a late charge to open up a gap of over 40 minutes on third-placed Benny van der Westhuizen, with Christo van der Merwe the first of the standard quads. Vickers van Deventer is unbeaten in long distance and short course events this season, and is currently the dominant force in South African quad racing.
Ek was so dankbaar vir die reën, die boere het reën nodig gehad vir hulle mielies. Ek geniet die reën, hoe meer modder hoe lekkerder is dit vir my. Ou kan lekker speel, dit is baie lekker. Maar die wedren was baie swak gemerk na volgens my in daai seksie. Ek weet nie of hulle stickers afgetrek het nie, maar andersins was dit lekker.
There was late drama in the motorcycle category. Alfie Cox on the Castrol Pro Action KTM was at the front of the field at the final bike refuel point, with teammate Darryl Curtis out of the running. Behind Cox, a terrific scramble had developed with Brian Bontekoning on the Shumwell's Yamaha up into the top 3, along with Alex Bowles on the Antilex Dairy KTM. There was also bedlam at the refuel point as Grant Broomfield on the Lesotho Office Equipment Honda appeared on the scene. The final act of what had been a terrific race held a few more surprises. Every second was now crucial, with Bontekoning first away from the refuel, only to drop out of the race on the run into the finish. A fired-up Bloomfield caught Bowles in the final leg to finish second ahead of Lance Strathaway and Louis Kotzer. For Alfie Cox, it was a win that was expected, but one which didn't come easy.
Today was just unbelievably tough. I think it was just pressure all the way, and you know, I was under pressure being so far behind. You have to take chances if you want to make up time. I had a big crash today, one I haven't had in a long time. And but it's the way it is. You just have to take chances. You just can't, you know, say on this straight, okay, it's a little bit rough, maybe I'll take it easy. You just got to hold it wide open, because if you don't, you're never going to catch those front guys the minutes that you've lost.